Hey Charlie, you put the toilet seat down, man? You ever get that at home? Or are you guys still too new, married? I don't know if that's too new. You put the seat down? Did she ask you to put it down? Like there's no rule. Where did that become a rule? You know, I use it, for me, I use it as like, that's a sign of where we stand relationship-wise. What if the seat is down, we're good, right? I have no problems. Happiest couple ever. But boy, I start leaving that seat up, she knows. Because I put it down, I don't care, you know. It's a nice thing to do. I leave it up, she comes out, what's the matter? Talk to me. Why are you leaving the seat up? Hey, welcome to the closing beat, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. How you doing out there today? Let's get into this here. We're financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth, and we do things a little bit differently. We're a little bit odd, just like jazz, right? Our name is Jazz, like the music. It's a little bit odd. It's a little bit interpretive. You have to be really good at actually performing jazz music, but you could be a little bit quirky and offbeat at times if you're familiar with that genre of music. But hey, we'll dive into the markets. We'll cover everything here today. It was a good day, right? It was kind of fun to watch the markets today. A rare trend day, that's what we call it, where the stock market essentially starts wherever, it doesn't matter. It started lower today, but wherever it just starts grinding higher. Never too far, too fast. It just slow and steady. I love those days, man. It's just beautiful. Little pullbacks are bought up, and everything looks good there. So we'll cover that. Off to the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the actual stock market here for today, how it performed. Bottom right-hand corner of your page, we do FinTips videos in order to try to get you to hit the subscribe button and get us to 100,000 subscribers. We do helpful tips and tricks and stuff. We got 4 money moves to make before retirement, something you might want to check out there if you're close to retirement. And Monday's video, well-received video, using FIFO and LIFO in your trading accounts, your long-term accounts, your brokerage accounts, in particular taxable accounts. When should you use one versus the other, and what's the advantage there? So we covered that there. In our research site, we did cover the top and bottom performing stocks in the S&P 500. If you're not a member of the research site, come and join us. It's $13 a month if you're not a customer. We are not currently taking customers right now, but you could join the site if you'd like, and we may have something interesting coming to it. I always promote things early, let you know what's coming. But a highly requested offering to that site coming, as well as some of the other cool tools that we put together. Let's dive into it, man. Let's just talk about this market today. I'll do what I need to do and cover everything here, try to teach you something new, and then we'll take questions if you happen to have any questions. By the way, the House said they're going to vote on the stimulus bill Friday, I believe, so making progress there with their differences, still getting through all of that. If we take a look at the markets today, you might notice at the bottom, the Russell 2000. Wow. Okay. Go on, Russell. Talk to me. So up here, still in this uptrend, very nice and tight, pulled back to the 20-period moving average. We even mentioned how this likes to pierce it. It likes to pull back underneath and tease you a little bit like the uptrend is going to break. Did the same exact thing. Not breaking this time. The Russell be the biggest gainer of the day. Small cap value stocks are where it's at, man. I mean, I don't have to mention like GameStop. Got a new keyboard, by the way. Everything's working. Up 103% before the market closed there, and trading, I believe, even higher after hours, $160. What's going on over there? You guys playing GameStop again? Come on with this. 165, $166. Halted a time or two throughout the day, but that one, obviously in the news. Another one that was one of those sort of pump and dump stocks from the short covering type rally there. You've got Express, the retailer there, also up. But if you look around, it's the small cap value stocks. Regis, this is the hair salon, by the way. Very strong day today, 15% today. There were so many names in the small cap Russell 2000 that had double-digit gains just today. I mean, if you like those high flyers, that's what you have today. A couple others I'll point out that maybe you didn't catch or weren't familiar with. Bluebird. These are the guys, not the food. These are the guys that make school buses. Remember Bluebird on the side of the old bus there? That's what these guys do. The play today was on reopening. If you look around the small caps and the big performers, the action today was on the reopening market, the reopening economy, people getting back to work, back to school, back to traveling, back to doing things. We've noticed that over the last few days, so just wanted to point that out again. We'll go over to the NASDAQ. A little bit rougher over in the NASDAQ. That one pulled back a little bit harder there. It's back up to about 3% year to date. Tesla was your biggest contributor today, largely because of their crypto position, because there was really not a whole lot besides the ARK person buying more shares there. I believe they bought $170 million. Yes, $170 million. That should bring their holding in the ARK up to over 10%, I believe. So 10% of that fund is all Tesla. Just be careful when you invest in these. I've done examples in the past between the XRT and the RTH, those ETFs that focus on retail that have a wildly different approach. So it's the same thing when you're looking at something like ARK. I know that's wildly popular right now, but you have exposure pointing all in, largely in one direction at the moment. And semiconductors, I want to point out those today. They're back. So we've got Intel having a great day, almost back to highs up there, but you could look through all the semiconductors today. Great days performance-wise. Applied Materials, I believe, was the best performer. Texas Instruments up 4% as well. Lam Research, that was the best performer, up 6% on the day, nearing new highs. Semiconductors have been have these fits and starts, right? When they take off, all is good for a little bit, then it calms down. Then it takes off again, and all is good back again. So that was interesting in the NASDAQ here today. Chinese names, which I've been kind of talking about, starting to look at those a little bit. Chinese names didn't play along today. Continue the pullback. I like that. I welcome that. Give me a good pullback here. Pinduoduo down on the day. JD down 3%, still in a good uptrend there. And I point out Baidu, because somebody was looking at that. That continues to pull back. Totally fine. No issues with that. We look at the S&P 500. It's been hovering around about a 5% gain year to date. So if you're just checking in for the first time in a while, up about 5% if you haven't seen the performance so far. Today's action comes from, I'll go like this and we'll do MasterCard. Breakout in MasterCard. FinTech had a great day on PayPal's news yesterday of buying more Bitcoin. A great move there on MasterCard. Visa also almost back to highs as well. I want to point out Johnson & Johnson in the S&P. Maybe a 50-day moving average reversal, good technical support there. Seemed to get a little bit of extra volume today. I didn't go through it a whole lot there, but that one stuck out to me. Also, Norwegian Cruise Lines, the travel stocks killing it. United Airlines doing well here. Royal Caribbean, we happen to own that one, another 7% just for today. Oil and energy all doing well. Let's just go through that in our sector breakdown here. So I'm going to start with energy. If you look at energy, hands down, the best performer today continues to see these days, up now 10% in the last 5 days. If you go year to date on energy, we're darn near 35%. I mean, just the killer sector. I love this because we talked about this last year. When energy has a horrible underperforming year like it did last year, we showed the study. I gave you everything ahead of time. I'll always like to tell you ahead of time instead of I told you so. And so this great sort of stat to go, hey, when energy really suffers in a year and is the worst performing sector, tends to turn around quite sharply. So that's playing out. I love it. All the names inside the space here doing well. My top pick was Diamondback Energy, and I think so far this year, it's in third place, not the best one out of the group. We happen to own Occidental Petroleum and a bunch of these others, so I'm happy with those, moving higher as well. But look at the performance here today. Just all of them, massive gains across the board. And year to date, they're all positive. So any stock in the energy sector, all positive there. So, and by the way, if you look, let's do year to date. So I'll do quarter to date here. The biggest gainers year to date are coming from the smaller names. Remember, that's true in the stock market. I covered that in a couple research posts. We've done it in classes and stuff, that the biggest gainers, even in the Russell 2000, even though that's small cap, in S&P and stuff, they're the little companies. The big companies, Amazon, Apple, things like that, they're not outperforming. The little guys are. So that's the same over here in the energy space as well. I'll go over to utilities. Let's go back here. Utilities ranks at the bottom, and I'm going to continue my comments there. I like the fact that this is pulling back. I just don't think it's an exciting area to go try to buy a pullback. So think about utilities tied to interest rates and what interest rates are doing right now. I get attracted to pullbacks in sectors and individual stocks, but this one over the last couple of days, I've been just like, I don't know how you get the masses to be excited about this pullback, and that bothers me. Today, moving a little bit lower, basically just as we've been talking about. The one that's, maybe just kind of attractive here is Nextera, because it's more of a climactic drop. It's more sold in the short term there. So if you had to pick one and you're a counter trend trader, maybe you go over there. I can't tell you what to do, but that's interesting. Financials here comes in second place in terms of the best performers over the last 5 days there. It's up 14% year to date. All the financials are working together here besides the exchanges. So check this out. You can very quickly go over here and we'll set it to, go over here. Okay. So financials nice and strong. Everything's looking good. But if I start looking at the weak ones, you got MSCI, Market Access, ICE, right? You can very quickly see, the insurers, okay, they've been a little bit weak, but these guys were your leaders last year. Remember last year we were talking constantly, look, Market Access doing really, really well. You got to go back over here, how it had that big rally into the end of the year. Now it's snoozing. Nothing exciting there. If you go to MSCI, same thing. Big rally into the end of the year. Now it's asleep. There's nothing exciting about these. I think investors see that very clearly. It's very easy to recognize that. And so look down here at the bottom. All of those stocks are your underperformers. There's no way you would at the moment you would say got to put money there. Like that's where the best place to invest my money is. It's out of favor, right? So you can see that. When you can see that, it helps you hopefully avoid dead money, really, or money that doesn't move. So yeah, that's what I had to point out there. Let's move on to industrials real quick. So we go over to industrials here. I'll zoom out the chart. Nice technical pattern on this one, right? Breaking out. It comes in third place over the last 5 days in terms of performance, up about 5% year to date. I just happen to like industrials breaking out here. It's going to be the airlines, and Boeing, right? So we'll go over, I'll just look at today. So if you look at today, your returns, they come from United Airlines right in here, comes from American Airlines, Southwest Airlines. You can quickly put those together in your mind and say, well, those are airlines, and Boeing. So those are your best performers. It's the travel stocks. For like the fourth day in a row, we got to point out, travel stocks are gaining the momentum. That's the volume. Nobody wants the exchanges. They want travel stocks. They want retailers. They want the upcoming retailers that are reporting earnings to give you some hints of where to look. What else do we have here? Oh, maybe home builders. It's not a sector, but if you look at the XHB here, nice reversal day. Anything home building related did well. A lot of that due to Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers reported earnings, and they beat by 30 cents. Revenue's better than expected. And they said, we've got tight inventory, higher prices, and higher demand. What more do you want? How excited are we? Own the stock. We're happy. Great. That's what you want to hear your company that you own say. Like, we can't keep up. It's great. So Toll Brothers really helping out in that space. If you happen to be looking at home builders or trying to find anything there, you're going to find a little momentum today. All right, new highs and lows for the day. 97. That's a new short-term high for the number of new highs. Only 3 of them finished in the red on the day. And out of the 97 names, over half, 53% to be exact, are now up 10% or more year to date. So what's that tell you? What are we doing here? So what that tells you is the stocks on the list is where everybody's looking. That's the action. So whatever you can do, I'm going to mention the same names here in a second. Whatever you can do to look at those stocks, that's where all the excitement is right now, because they're the growers, right? They're the outperformers. They're things like Limited Brands. So we've been talking about this pullback in here. Limited Brands, a retailer that's really turned their lives around here recently and focused on inventory and possibly spinning off their I always say it wrong, Bath and Body Works, right, division. That's where all the money's at in Limited Brands. If you're not familiar with them, it's Victoria's Secret, Limited Brands, and some smaller brands. But all the money being made at the moment is Bath and Body Works. And so everybody wants them to make that a separate company, and I think they're going to do it this year. If you look at Marriott, man, we've been talking about this one just blasting off. I even mentioned if it pulls back, that'd be great. Nope, leaving you in the dust. It's gone. It's a trade that's missed if you didn't hop on it early. 5 1/3% gain on the day. CDW looking good. Great reversal day right there. It's a stock that people say, when it pulls back, I'll buy it, and now they're getting left behind. It didn't pull back enough. So what does that force people to do? Chase it. They're going to have to chase it and feel bad about it. Chubb. So looking at Chubb, ticker symbol CB here, this is that breakout that never pulled back, right? It popped to new highs and refused to budge. 0 sellers in the game. And so that one continues. Not the best mover today, but still up 1 1/3%. And Cisco, the food company, distribution company, there's that breakout. It's continuing there. This is the one we highlighted yesterday to say that's the pullback you like. You like it to use its energy to get to the highs, take a quick break, then go ahead and make me some more money. Go and take off like that. So I love that one there, the way that's kind of shown that pattern. It's one to save for your chart books. Does anybody do that anymore? Do we do chart books? Am I the only one? So here we go. Moving on to stocks in the news, and I'll take your questions. You probably saw in headlines today, Square. Earnings came out today. Square beats on earnings by just 1 penny. Revenues a little less than expected. Bought a couple different currencies, 170 million in total. That's adding to, so that's not brand new news. They're adding to it. I believe they diversified a little bit and bought some other currencies too. I don't think it was all Bitcoin. Lowe's comes out with earnings here, beats by 12 cents. Revenues better than expected. Store sales better than expected. Stock sells off a little bit. I think they wouldn't give guidance was the focus there. I think it was a bit of a tug of war on the conference call where they were pressed a little bit, and I don't think that they were willing to give any guidance. That's probably what hurt them, if I'm thinking of the right stock. Six Flags. That's a public company there. They said, yeah, we want to open up. We want to open up all of our locations for the 2021 season there. They come out with earnings. And I missed their earnings there. Obviously, there's going to be losses of some, loses $1 a share. I think that's a little less than was expected. Actually, I think it's quite a bit less than expected. Loses $423 million. I think they were expected to lose a little bit more. And they want to reopen their parks. I say go for it. Let's get back on some roller coasters, man. TJ Maxx, there you go, sitting at highs. Not really bothered today. Misses on earnings due to store closures overseas in the EU and elsewhere. So what they did is they reported sales in the stores open. They weren't great. We see sales down about 3%. They didn't give guidance going forward. So I think they could have been hit a little bit harder. The action today went to Ross stores. So people said, I'll just shift a little money. TJ Maxx, great. You're going to open the stores. Life will get back to normal. But in the meantime, I'm going to go with Ross stores that doesn't have the same exact problem. And I believe Ross stores even is opening stores, new stores in California. So there you go on that one. Let's look at Tesla here. Tesla today higher. ARK investment, I mentioned already, added $170 million there. Stock was higher today largely because of Bitcoin. No other real news that I know of. Bitcoin higher by 2.33%. That's 1,000 points higher on the day. A couple others before we take your questions. I'll let the stream catch up for you. Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Honorable mention today. I hate them for stealing my ticker symbol, but beats on revenue, guides higher, stocks up 10%. It's a pharmaceutical company, obviously. And there you go. A couple other stocks raising money because they can. Fresh Pet selling another 2 million shares, and Canopy Growth, they also they filed for a mixed offering, I believe, some maybe selling off some debt and some equity at the same time. People raising money because they can. They are borrowing money not because they need it, most of them. They're borrowing money because they can borrow the money. So all of you that are anti-loan people, there's something to think about. I'm not telling you what to do. Do what makes your heart happy. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. Let's see if I can take any questions and see what we have here. You like Square? A couple of you like Square. Yeah. Well, it's a headline stock, right? So it's going to get a lot of attention there. I would agree. There's the crypto people in there. Yep. I love it. So it's a lot of the action is moving, like I've mentioned, moving into the travel space / reopening space. So you got to kind of do your research there. But the belief is we're going to go forward before we go backwards if we ever do again. So all those stay-at-home stocks, it's not that they're bad. There's just profit taking going on there. It's where everybody knew to go, and now they're taking their profits and going, life getting back to normal, Royal Caribbean, right? Marriott, international hotels, right? We're going to go back out there? Yep. What do we think about Walmart adding, coming down to support? There you go. Yep, there you go. So big move on earnings. You don't chase it. First day of a reversal. No, don't chase that, right? You want it to sell off and relax a little bit. This is that washout of people giving up on the stock. So I like it. If you're building a position here, I like the idea of continuing to build a position if that's something that you're comfortable doing. Intel and AMD, a lot of that coming today. Biden wanting to do a review of semiconductor distribution, how competitive we are and all that stuff. And that was very helpful, right? Obviously to AMAT and all the names I've already mentioned there, at least in the short term. But also that industry, very strong. They've got demand issues, mainly supply issues there as well. And so I don't know enough to say whether that review that he signed the order on is worthwhile. I don't pretend to know enough of that. But I do know whenever you have just a simple economics, you've got supply issues, and they've had for some time, but you've got demand ramping up. Think of all the things people need, all the gadgets and all the computers and things we bought to stay at home, plus the electric cars. You have a recipe for a strong industry there. I like it. Biden is off. Okay. That has nothing to do with money, so that doesn't apply to me there. I like it. Any store shut down like Fry's Electronic, any store will... Oh, I gotcha. How do you reconcile Boeing's move and the market ignoring the recent engine issue? Well, it's not like the 730, the Max, the 737 Max. So there can be, and there was even one I watched the other day where the lady got sucked through the window. That was a horrible story. But that's not necessarily a Boeing issue. That's maybe a maintenance issue that maybe lays more on the airline. So investors look past that, and that stuff happens a lot. If you ever follow Boeing, this stuff happens all over the world. You have things in Australia that are going on that don't make headlines, but they're not Boeing's issue. So I think that's what people are riding on at the moment. Oh, you think the energy and financials will take a little bit of a break and let you add some there? It's a little extended, especially financials. So I don't like how fast it's going, but I get that we're in that type of market right now where people chase stuff at overvalued and overpriced points just to buy high and then sell it hopefully much higher. So I get that it's a little extended. I just can't chase it. I say go with what you have. Be happy with that one there. No need to average up in this one. And we'll see. Yep. Your view on ARK ETFs for the long run, like a Roth, for what? Why that one versus others? Are there ones we're comparing it to? Maybe help me with that. That's where I look. I'm not going to say, hey, because I see it on the news a bunch of times a day and everybody seems to be talking about it, that must be for me. No. Compared to what? So you have the thought of that one, but you are also looking at another one maybe, and you're trying to weigh the differences between the two. That's what I'm going to need there. Yeah, we were just talking about Apple not really being that needle mover anymore. Like they're just going to come out with a foldable phone now because everybody else is doing it. I mean, still good stuff, but yeah, that's sad. I know. Yeah, it's become the behemoth. Yeah. Have you started laying any of that tile? Yeah, man. I'm in my head. I'm almost done. Not really. That's got a ways to go, but I'll be doing that as soon as the show's over here. That's keeping that going. Barry says thoughts on business. Not sure. Can't help you there. Looks like we've done our thing, and we can wrap it up for the day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know it's hard to get attention these days, and the fact that there's like 100,000 subscribers, I think about it all the time. We're almost there. So, and normally I don't even look. I don't really care. What difference does a number make? But awesome. I'm getting like sucked into all the hype and stuff. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and hopefully you learned something. We'll keep going. We're going to do this again tomorrow. So we'll join you back then. Also, we've got our Wine and Wealth tomorrow for customers. So we'll be doing that as well. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.